Hi all, and welcome to my channel, Fred Makes Things, and our Sewers Club appreciation video for you. As we all know, Sewers Club has made the decision to end their subscription boxes for this foreseeable future, right? They said it is over. And so for the people here in the United States, we got our last box in September. International customers get one more box. International and Canadian customers get one more box. And then Sewers Club is finished with their subscription side of their business. So, yeah, this video is to talk about my thoughts, my feelings on Sewers Club. It is 100% appreciation. There is no negativity or anything in this video. And there are no timestamps. I've already talked before, and that post was 30 minutes long and I hadn't even finished. So I'm scrapping that, hopefully getting my thoughts into a more succinct manner and sharing with all of you. Before we get started, I do want to say hello all. Hi to the new subscribers, the OGs, and anyone in between. Hello to the people who are curious about this last goodbye kind of a video. And to anyone else who's happened to click on this channel and are not yet subscribed. You are all so very much appreciated, and your kind and considerate comments are always so welcome in the comments section. This video is going to be just pictures of all of the projects that Sewers Club has sent me over the years. I have been getting this box since January of 2021, so there are quite a few projects to look through. But yeah, let's just kind of talk Sewers Club for a minute. Before Sewers Club came into my life, I was very, very new to sewing, and I dabbled quite a bit. But I didn't have any sort of formal training, didn't have any sort of learning, anyone teaching me how to sew. I had signed up for sewing classes and stuff like that in junior high and high school, but because of life circumstances, I never really got to go to any of those classes, never got to experience that. I had my cousin in high school, and she was sewing. She'd worked for Fanny's Fabrics in Canada when they were still a thing. And she could sew, so we sewed together. She made things for me, things I asked her for. But I never really touched her sewing machine. I'd help in other ways. I've said this before on the channel, but I would do I would cut out patterns, cut out fabric, pin things, iron things, do all of those things, but she was the one actually sewing things. So I never really touched a sewing machine growing up. Not as a kid, not in junior high, not in high school, not in the early years of adulthood. And then finally when I was living in France, I decided, I think I'm going to learn how to sew. So one year I got a sewing machine for my birthday. It's a Husqvarna Viking E20 mechanical sewing machine. It's still the one that I use now. And I would say I've had it for about 10 years-ish. 10 years at the longest, but I think it's been somewhere around 10 years. And then in France, I started dabbling and learning how to sew there. I made the slip covers and a throw blanket and some clothing, and just kind of wherever my fancy took me. But I didn't have anything formal, right? I had no formal experience. I didn't really follow any patterns really. So the clothes had patterns, but other than that, I kind of just went with vibes and what I wanted to make. I then started this channel, and when I started this channel, it was just time lapses, but I was really curious about subscription boxes, and mainly crafting subscription boxes. And I thought that I wanted to start trying those out, and I'd mentioned it to my cousin, and she was like, yeah, that's pretty cool. And then that year for Christmas, December 2020, she got me a 3-month subscription to Sewers Club because she was just as curious, or she was curious about Sewers Club, and she didn't want to be the guinea pig. So she got it for me. And the very first project, I'll pop it back up on the screen here for you, was this on-the-go sewing wallet thing. And it was probably the hardest thing I'd ever made up until that point. It's definitely more of an intermediate pattern than a beginner pattern. But in it, I learned lots. I learned how to do pockets. I learned how to work with fusible fleece. I learned how, like, mild quilting on it. Zipper installation, snap installation, even my first handmade tag was put on that one. Every single step of the way on this project was almost completely brand new to me. Looking at it, I decided I needed to get a cutting mat and a rotary cutter because I only had some really beautiful sewing scissors, but all of these were very straight cuts, very small cuts, and I thought better to do that than anything else. And in that box, I got my very first Notions add-on, which was a quilting gloves that I've never used. And then occasionally pop up and I'm like, oh yeah, I have those, and then I never use them. So really they should have gone in that Notions that I never use video back from July, but yeah, it was a really cool project, and it tested my limits and my thoughts, and I said, this is kind of cool. And then the next month, here's a photo of that, were pot holders, and that was my very first experience with piecing such small pieces of fabric too. Like, I'd done mostly large kinds of scale things, right, and clothing and stuff. I never needed to do like a 2 by 2 inch square, 2.5 by 2.5 inch square of anything, or lining it up or anything like that. And I'd never had to work with a 1/4 inch seam allowance before. Most of my stuff that I made was like 1/2 inch seam allowances, and then I'd trim it away. So all of it was new to me, figuring it all out as I went along. And by the end of that second box, I was hooked. And I knew that I wanted to continue. So I signed up for Sewers Club, and I started getting them on a monthly basis, and I never looked back. Sewers Club has taught me almost everything that I know right now about sewing, about piecing, about construction, about putting things together, understanding how things go together, several different ways of making zippers, or doing zippers, a bunch of different ways of making pouches, of making purses, of making wallets, all of those things. And they all kind of pile up together in my mind as I make things, right? They have basically just helped me form the sewing repertoire that I have now. They help me with all of the notions, me figuring out what kinds of things that I like to sew with, that I don't like to sew with, different scissors and rotary cutters, and a couple of different rulers, needles, pins, just things in general. Like, Sewers Club has been it for me, really. Like, I don't really think I go out on my way to buy new notions. I just kind of get them sent to me from Sewers Club, and then I figure out if I like it or not. Lots of times I didn't even know something existed, and then they sent it to me, and I was like, ooh, that's pretty cool. And so, yeah, and then with learning how to sew, I also started sharing all of that on the channel as well. For the first year almost of Sewers Club, all I shared were Sewers Club projects. All right, I'd have 2 videos a month, a unboxing and a review video. And I would just be working on it in my dining room, right? Dining room of my apartment, dining room of my house. And then I decided, well, sewing is really becoming a big part of my life. And so I carved out a space in my upstairs office, or upstairs guest room, for sewing. I'd never done that before. Never thought of a dedicated sewing space, but there I have it upstairs, right in the guest room. And that's all because of Sewers Club. My love for sewing is Sewers Club. It's fostered by Sewers Club. It helped this channel grow. One of my very first interactive subscriber. I've had other subscribers, but my very first person who started really commenting on my videos and engaging with my content was Kenyatta from Kenyatta's Hobbies. She's been here almost from the beginning of my sewing journey. She's been like a really great cheerleader, a really great person in general, but she's been around for forever. And I appreciate that. I appreciate her and her paying attention to a tiny, tiny channel. I think I had less than 50 subscribers when she found me. And she's been here ever since. And I think that's awesome. I've also met new internet friends as well, right? Susan and Liz. I believe they both showed up because of Sewers Club as well. And again, I think that's absolutely awesome. Sewers Club is just kind of being such a strong presence on this channel that it feels so weird knowing that come October, I'm not going to be getting those boxes anymore. They showed me fabrics that I really enjoy. They introduced me to new fabric lines that I really like. Because of them, I've started paying closer attention to designers and creators and the big kind of companies out there. And I understand a lot of that now. I can kind of look at certain fabrics and have an idea of like who's probably producing them, who's creating them. And they really just expanded my understanding and my knowledge base when it comes to sewing. They've given me like the confidence to be able to branch out, try new things, try different things. But they've also set such a high bar in their patterns and their fabric, their customer service, and like their overall comportment as a company that trying other kinds of fabrics or other kinds of subscription boxes, they all pale in comparison to Sewers Club, right? We did Sew What last year, and I didn't like it. I didn't like anything about that company. And I can't say a negative thing, really, about Sewers Club. I've never had to reach out to them with a customer service problem. Only one time in all the years I've had to reach out to them to get... and that was because my post office lost my box. Nothing to do with Sewers Club, but it was my post office that had a problem. And they immediately sent me a new box. When they started their affiliate subscription program, they emailed me and asked me if I wanted to join. I was tiny. I still am tiny, right? I'll always be tiny. But, yeah. They asked me if I wanted to join, and I said yes immediately. Didn't even think twice about it. It had nothing to do with the small commission that they gave me for having new people sign up. Could care less about that. It was more about being able to share the wonder of Sewers Club with all of you and being able to give you a small discount to kind of start you off with a company that I knew was great. That is one of my favorites. Over the years, right, they've kind of kept an eye on the channel. I know they have. They've commented when I've had some massive failures and was blaming myself for talking about not understanding the pattern, and they cleared it up. They've given me a couple of boxes over the years too as like Christmas presents and whatnot. And they sent me 5 meters of absolutely beautiful cotton fabric last year when I mentioned in a video, I think it was even in a comment about how much I really liked that fabric and I thought how great of a dress it would be. And then they sent it to me and said, here, we heard you thought you might like this for a dress. And they sent it and I finally made it this year. They're just a great company overall. They are the reason my channel is where it's at. They're the reason how I've structured my channel. The Sewers Club was some of my very first non-time-lapse videos, right? They help me gain some confidence to talk about other things too, and to come from time lapses with music to kind of sharing myself, my thoughts, all of that kind of stuff on the internet. They're great. Now they still have an online store. You can still shop with them. You can still get things sent to the United States. I don't know how tariffs are going to work. I don't know what duties are going to look like. I don't know any of that. I haven't really experimented with it at all. I've just been a little bit busy with other things. Also, it's not going to be the end of talking about Sewers Club either on this channel. I have 2 projects in the works where I'm kind of altering some of the stuff that they sent us to work for other things as well. It's one of the things that I seem to do on this channel. So those will come up, but the dedicated Sewers Club content is coming to an end. And I'm not sure what I'm going to do to fill in that space. I've gone from several subscription boxes a month to 1 crafting box and 1 cat toy box. And everything else is gone. In a matter of a month, everything is gone. And now I'm kind of trying to figuring out what is next for me for this channel. I think I might be taking a break from subscription boxes until the new year. I think October, November, and December we'll see some different hauls, trying out some different companies. I'm using some of that money that was going to Sewers Club and putting it elsewhere. But yeah, it's the end of an era, and I'm a bit sad about that. I'm quite a bit sad about that. So I think that's all that I want to say. Editing Fred might jump in here and be like, you forgot all of this stuff. But off the top of my head, I think that is all I wanted to say. So let me know your thoughts on Sewers Club, your experiences with Sewers Club. Did it impact your life like it's impacted mine? This is definitely like one of those butterfly effect things that people have been talking about a lot lately, not understanding it. And this might be the wrong understanding for it for me too. But without Sewers Club, I can definitively look at it. Without Sewers Club, without my cousin using me as a guinea pig in 2021, I would not be where I am now. I would not have an Etsy shop. I would not be experimenting with quilting. I would not, I don't think I would have like a dedicated sewing space upstairs. I don't think I'd have a lot of these different things. I think that I would still be doing something, and I know I would still be sewing, but I don't think that it would have become as great a thing in my life as it is. And that is because Sewers Club's patterns were easy to follow. They're very interesting. And they gave me a reason to sew, to have my sewing machine out every single month, which kind of gave me that discipline to try other things out. Because if everything is already out and set up, why not try other patterns, other companies? Try to make other things, try to alter the patterns that I already have, those kinds of things, right? So I wouldn't be where I am now. My channel wouldn't be where it is now. Still super tiny, and I'm happy with that. But all of that stuff, right, just wouldn't have happened if I hadn't started getting Sewers Club so many years ago. So yeah, that's all. I think that's all I want to say. Like I said before, let me know your thoughts down in the comment section. Are there other subscription boxes you think I should try out too? Like I said, there may be a pause until the new year, but I am always curious to see what other people are working with. And quilting subscription boxes are easy to come by, but I'm looking more for project boxes rather than quilting boxes. So if you'd come across anything in your travels that you think might be interesting, drop a comment here, send me an email, do whatever you think is best. And so, yeah, finally, what do we have coming up? Friday is our Mary Maxim project review. Monday is undecided. Wednesday is a different sewing project video that I'm going to go work on when I'm done recording this. Friday is most likely our hooks and needles review video for box 14. That will be the last video for hooks and needles on this channel. There's a poll though on my community page, so go check that out to put your 2 cents in if you even want to see that video. And then after that, I don't know. So I know what the next 5 days is going to look like, or the next week is going to look like. After that, who knows? So do think about subscribing if you want to check any of that out. And think about staying, especially if you're still at the end here, or like if you're here for Sewers Club, but do think about staying to see what else I have going on this channel. And yeah, I'm going to go. So with all of that being said, I'm going to say thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for enjoying this Sewers Club content. And thank you so much to Sewers Club if you're on this video or watching it. I have appreciated you from like the very beginning. And yeah, thank you again. I will talk with you again soon. Bye.